Good morning, Storm here, and we're going to start off this New Year's Eve with Lilo and Stitch and Steven Universe. So, we're going to start off by talking about the characters of the show, the concept of family that they both share, and other similarities between the shows. Alright, so I'm going to start off with Lilo and Stitch because you're probably less familiarized with that show. So, for our character list, we have Lilo, who is a girl who lost her parents and only has one other direct family member left, who has no friends, or she thinks she has friends, but she really doesn't. And she lives in a house far away from other people. Then we have Stitch, who is the other main character, who is the 626th experiment made by a mad scientist, Jumba Jukiba. Experiment 626 made its way to Earth while trying to escape the interplanetary forces of whatever government the aliens had over there. Next we have Nani, who is Lilo's sister, and that is basically her mother now that her parents are gone. Then we have Nani's boyfriend David, and to round it off, the Garnet of the show, Cobra Bubbles, for the humans. Now we have the main aliens that are in the movie, Jumba Jukiba, who ends up acting like Amethyst during the actual series run of the show, because I think for the most part in the movie he's evil. Then we have Pearl, who is Pleakley. We have Gantu as the Jasper of the series. And to round off the main character list is Grand Councilwoman, who is one of the heads of the whole empire of the aliens. And she is kind of, I guess you could picture her as the Yellow Diamond. Now for the character list of Steven Universe, which basically all of you should be quite familiarized. We start off with Steven, who is going to be turning 14, who tries to make as much friends as possible. His only remaining family member is Greg. We have Rose, who is Steven's alien mother. Amethyst, Garnet, and Pearl, all who were aliens that were originally trying to destroy the Earth, who are now good. Peridot, Jasper, Lapis Lazuli, Connie, who is a little girl that had no friends until she met Steven, the rest of the townspeople, and Yellow Diamond. Now let's get to why both of these series have the same concept of family. Well, first of all, Lilo and Stitch has this concept called Ohana, which is a Hawaiian word that means family. In the series, this concept of Ohana, meaning family, that no one gets left behind or forgotten. Steven Universe accepts all or anyone to be a part of the family in Steven's mind, in my opinion, even if they are bad or have been bad before. Which brings back to Lilo and Stitch, as they did the same exact thing with more than half of the evil, or considered to be evil, characters of the show. They did it with Stitch, Pleakley, Jumba, and Grand Councilwoman. All of those evil aliens that were stereotypically put forth are now part of Lilo's ever-growing family. Both of these series add to their families by other gems they meet, other experiments they find, or other people that come into their lives. In Steven Universe, you had Peridot, highly acclaimed as the villain for a very long time, and now when she was brought down from her high pedestal of evil, I guess, to the level of kind of pity and like weakness, she was brought into the group connecting Steven with the other gems in Peridot. And in Lilo and Stitch, you kind of had the same thing when Stitch was this out of control, chainsaw wielding experiment from other planets, and when Lilo saw like him being sad and wanted to leave, she didn't want him to leave, but she would understand why, and she just hated herself because she like had no friends, and this was like her one chance to really have a friend. Not only sharing some of the same similarities in the concepts of family that both of these series have, they also have a couple other very similar qualities in them. Let's start off with Stitch and Lapis Lazuli. Well, both of them are blue, right? And both of them had trouble finding out where their home lied and who to trust and really what family was. And both Lilo and Steven kind of gave him that idea. And by the end of the first movie in Lilo and Stitch, he saw that it was better off to love and be loved than to be alone. Lapis could have thought about this in the same way, but also seeing how Stitch, after what he went through, finally found his happiness in his one true home, could we think of the same way that Lapis will be able to find her happiness in her one true home? Could it be with the crystal gems and in the temple, or will she actually find sanctuary back in Homeworld after all of this craziness is over? Well, we're just going to have to see how Rebecca Sugar takes the rest of the Steven Universe series and goes on with it. So, it's kind of obvious that Steven has alien moms that take care of him, right? That being Amethyst, Garnet, and Pearl. Lilo kind of has the same thing going on, but hers are quote-unquote males, or as masculine as you can kind of call them. She has Jumba and Pleakley as her guardians when Nani or David aren't home. Earlier in the video I said that Jumba was the Amethyst. I say that because he makes crazy like inventions, and he still has a little bit of evil in him when he goes off and makes crazy things for Lilo that Nani doesn't always approve of. This being part of like the series run of the TV show of Lilo and Stitch. Pleakley is the Pearl because he is like the really caretaker mom figure that Lilo doesn't have anymore after her parents passed, and he always tries to keep her safe from like everything, kind of what Pearl usually does for Steven, even though some of the things that they might be doing aren't going to be overall too harmful, and they overreact trying to keep Steven and Lilo safe. A lot of these similarities in both of these series could be just coincidences, but I don't really think so, which is why I brought them up. I like how in two different shows on two separate channels can share some of the same concepts or similarities within the content they provide. I also hope that you cherish the family and friends that you have still now. If you lost anyone, I don't know, but whoever you have still, just keep them close and make sure you spend enough time with them to make sure they know that you care for them, because you never know when something bad will happen. Because in both these series, speaking like to them, kind of to you guys, they don't have all of their family, and they, with what they have, they make it work and they're happy. And I hope you guys can be the same and feel the same way with what you have left. And if you make it to the end of this video at this point, I'm going to just say Happy New Year, guys, and thank you all for watching to the end of this video, especially. Cheers, loves.